Another village in tatters, just one of many in Mindanao in the southern Philippines, where rebel soldiers from the Moro Islamic Liberation Front, or MILF, went on a rampage earlier this week. Several residents were taken hostage and others left dead. They came in already firing their guns, this man said. We all ran to get away. Then the MILF hid in canals with their weapons, waiting for the military to come. With many of the roads blocked, residents here fled along the coastline. Others traveled by boat to neighboring islands. Thousands are now displaced and living in makeshift evacuation centers, too afraid to return home, despite assurances that the rebels have withdrawn. This is the man that ignored a ceasefire put in place in 2003 and led the recent attacks, an MILF ground commander known as Bravo. In an interview with local media in March, he said, "We will not stop fighting until Mindanao is returned to the Muslims," a warning he repeated Wednesday after the signing of a proposed peace agreement fell through. There is now over $100,000 bounty on his head, the MILF leadership saying Bravo acted on his own.
This happened when there is so much frustration in this process. And as a result of these inflammatory statements, people become outraged. So we hope that this can still be on our side. We are trying our best to restrain our commanders.
The MILF was to sign a landmark agreement with the government 2 weeks ago. This would have expanded an autonomous region for Muslims in the southern Philippines and given them more economic and political control. The Supreme Court put that on hold following widespread opposition. Since Bravo's attacks, the government pulled the agreement off the table entirely.
There were difficulties, admittedly, but can we give up on peace itself? No. We will not give up on the peace process. We will continue negotiations until we could get the final peace agreement.
More government troops are being deployed to the southern Philippines to make sure renegade MILF fighters don't attack again. In some areas, residents have taken to arming themselves for protection. Additional checkpoints are being set up in Manila as there are now fears that the MILF could also launch attacks in the capital city. The tensions no longer just confined to the southern Philippines. But in the over 30-year struggle for a separate Muslim homeland, it's the residents of Mindanao that have paid the heaviest price. The area has remained the poorest in the country. The Muslims and the Christian residents have said all they've ever wanted was a safe place to call home. But now it seems that hope is pushed a little further out of reach. Marga, Ortigas, Al Jazeera, Manila.